Here's Mitchell. I think that's a 2. Doesn't go. And now it's McBride getting Hull.
That one might be a problem.
Indiana just taking shots to the face.
The Indiana Fever limped into Minnesota, looking more like a patchwork project than a professional roster. 5 core players already out, rotation scrambled, and every trip down the floor feeling like survival. Caitlin Clark, still sidelined with that stubborn groin. Sophie Cunningham, done for the season. Chloe BBY, Sydney Carlson, Ari McDonald, all shelved. And Odyssey Sims, she's strapped up on one good leg because the bench was at thin and the fight still mattered. The reward for that grit? A gut punch only the rulebook's worst case scenario could produce. Lexie Hull takes an elbow from Kayla McBride, crashes to the hardwood holding her face, and the whistle somehow goes against Hull. The crowd's temperature spiked instantly. Fever fans everywhere could practically hear Clark watching from home, seething, asking the same question they've been screaming all year. How does this keep happening? Drop your take in the comments. Are the refs blind to the Fever, or is there something deeper going on? Indiana didn't just show up shorthanded in Minnesota. They came in hollowed out. Clark's been out for more than a month. Sophie Cunningham's season flipped upside down by injury. Chloe BBY's knee barking. Sydney Carlson lost to an ACL tear. Ari McDonald shut down with a foot injury. That's basically an entire starting lineup erased before the ball even went up. Odyssey Sims? She's here on a hardship contract. The backup to the backup to the backup point guard. Straight from the triage table to live game bullets, because there was simply no other choice. This isn't a scheduling quirk. It's survival basketball, and survival carries a cost. Every drive burns extra energy. Every defensive rotation lands a half beat late, because these lineups have never shared a floor. And every mistake, every single one, gets amplified under the playoff race microscope.
The Indiana Fever's injury bug is getting into spooky territory. It seems like there's a new player every single day that's getting injured. Right now they have Caitlin Clark out, not sure if she will be returning this season. Sid Colson out with a season-ending ACL tear. Ari McDonald out with a season-ending fracture in her foot. Sophie Cunningham out with a season-ending MCL tear. And then just today, before the game, they announced that Chloe Bibby would be out with a knee injury, and basically they just said it's soreness and they're just playing it safe.
Injuries don't just take talent off the floor. They unravel the very structure of a team. For Indiana, guard and wing depth evaporated overnight, forcing Lexie Hull and Kelsey Mitchell to shift from scorers and stoppers into full-blown iron women. Just 2 nights earlier, also against Minnesota, Hull logged a career-high 37 minutes and dropped 23 points. Not as a luxury spark, but because there was no safety net, no chance to breathe, no subjogging to the scorer's table. She delivered because survival demanded it, and now, here she was again, thrown right back into the furnace. That's the reality of the stretch for Indiana. They're not just playing games. They're buying minutes, scraping against exhaustion, trying to stretch every ounce of energy into one more possession.
Lexie, did you come into tonight kind of expecting to play darn near the whole game just with the injury situation and the personnel available?
Damn, you played 37 minutes.
I mean, you played a lot too, Kels. What did you play? 35. I mean, yeah, we're down people, so gotta suck it up, play a little tired a few minutes, and take in those timeouts as best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're down people, so everyone's got to do a little more.
The patchwork fixes say it all. Shah Petty arrived midweek and was instantly thrown into rotation minutes. Odyssey Sims, still clearly far from 100%, shouldered possessions anyway. Aerial Powers, another late addition, was dropped straight into heavy minutes without time to build rhythm or trust. That's not plug-and-play basketball. It's duct tape and determination. You can't find flow when you're still introducing yourself in huddles and learning teammates' tendencies on the fly. Meanwhile, opponents like Minnesota don't need a cheat sheet. They see the seams, target the mismatches, and press until something breaks.
We've had 3 players in the last I don't know how many days, and 2 of those players are point guards, so not really. But you know, at the same time, our ability to make plays out of what we have, right? I think a lot of our spacing allows players to do what they do best, creates opportunities for them to be successful, and then it's just making the right reads and finding the right pass, you know, on time, on target. And some of that is with experience with your teammates, and some of that is instinct. And so we are trying to do as much as we can to put players in position to use those instincts.
Credit where it's due. Kelsey Mitchell never flinched. She split traps, carved out space, and piled up 26 points with the kind of shot making that says, if I have to carry us, I will. But the math of a depleted roster is unforgiving when the pieces around you are stitched together by necessity. Even superstar stretches run into a ceiling. Head coach Stephanie White called it physical. That's generous. This was a trench fight with a skeleton crew, and still, Indiana kept swinging, which is why the officiating blunder felt like gasoline on an open flame. Here's the scene. Hull locked in, defending with her trademark controlled aggression. McBride swings through. Her elbow catches Lexie flush across the face. Head contact. Defender down. Crowd wincing. That's textbook. Stop play. Review it. Hold someone accountable. Instead, the whistle pointed at Hull. The player who absorbed the elbow was the one penalized for it. The Fever bench sat stunned. And Hull herself? Anger sharpened into steel. Jaws.
We're going to look at it. So foul there on Indiana, on Hull there, but then that is a technical.
That is a technical. Dead ball, contact, technical.
It's a little surprising to see so many of these happen in one game because...
Oh, and I don't like the way Lexie Hull...
The review that followed got only half right. Officials nudged call, but stopped short of holding McBride accountable. It was a quiet admission. Yes, something was wrong, without the courage to name the culprit. Hull took clear contact to the face. She hit the deck. She needed a minute. And still, Indiana carried the punishment. The math of pain and penalty simply didn't add up. Don't call that a gray area. Call it what it was, a turning point that tilted the floor. Fans flooded social media because they've seen this movie too many times. One-off mistakes start to feel like patterns when the outcome always skews the same direction. A Fever player hits a hardwood, whether it's a shove, a shoulder check, a forearm clear, and somehow the foul still sticks to Indiana. That a vibe the league should want no part of. The perception that it's open season to rough up this team, and the whistle will look away. With half the roster already in street clothes, those swallow whistles don't just swing possessions, they invite more damage.
Boom! Right there. Oh my goodness. Boom! Right in the face, man. Right in the face. Now, like I stated, I get it. You might be mad that Lexie put her hand on your forehead. But fam, there is no reason for you to be throwing elbows to somebody's face like that. Come on, man. Throwing elbows to the face.
Minnesota leaned into physicality. That alone doesn't make them villains. Physical teams win in the postseason. But officiating is supposed to be the guardrail that keeps physical from sliding into dangerous. On this night, that guardrail looked optional. Fever guards absorbed hits without whistles. Contact the other way, immediate calls. Head coach Stephanie White suggested the game was called differently. She didn't need to say more. The film says it for her. When the standards shift depending on the jersey color, fans don't see nuance. They see bias.
This was intentional. Now, if it wasn't intentional, okay, give it a flagrant one. I understand it. She wasn't trying to do it. Cool. But this was intentional. All right? She had malice on the heart with this one. Bad intentions. Okay? She was trying to wreck some stuff up there doing this one. Hey, let's just keep it a grand, man. Let's just keep it a grand. Kayla McBride was trying to knock Lexie right on her booty cheeks, but she succeeded at, fam. Knocked her clean out. Look at this.
For Lexie Hull, already logging career-high minutes under career-high pressure, That elbow wasn't just contact, it was disrespect. She's carved out her role as a detail defender, a smart cutter, a rhythm shooter who earns minutes by doing the unglamorous work. And her reward? Taking an elbow, getting whistled for it, then watching the review shrug off reality. That's the kind of moment that hardens resolve. From the sideline, she looked furious, jaw tight, eyes burning. Take the hits, get told to play through it, while the officiating manages optics and you manage bruises. For Indiana, the patience is gone. They're finished being polite about it.
Knocked the clean out, man. Oh my goodness. I mean, folded. Look at how her legs are folded right here. Come on, man. Knocking her clean out right here. That was bad intentions, dog. That was bad intentions. I don't care what anybody say, man. That was bad intentions, man. And the refs have to do something about it. You have to make sure that players don't feel comfortable getting out of pocket and doing things like this.
And Hull isn't biting her tongue. After the game, she openly called for better officiating and league accountability. We put our bodies on the line night in and night out. The least the league can do is make sure players are protected. That's why the frustration is boiling over. The Fever aren't asking for charity. They're asking for consistency. Call the elbow the same way no matter who throws it. Protect driving lanes the same way no matter who's holding the ball. Don't punish effort on one side and reward contact on the other. If the league wants its best basketball on display, it has to protect its players, especially battered rosters like Indiana's. Otherwise, the product stops being competition and starts looking like a demolition derby. Most teams missing half their roster would have folded early. Indiana didn't. They answered with grit and defiance. Kelsey Mitchell once again carried the weight, pouring in 26 points and counterpunching every Lynx run until fatigue finally clawed at her legs. She was a lifeline, the reason Indiana stayed afloat in a game where every possession felt like a fistfight. Without her relentless shot making and fearless drives, often through contact that somehow never drew a whistle, the Fever would have been buried by halftime. Mitchell's fire kept them within reach and set the tone for everyone else to follow.
We got our best indication yet that Caitlin Clark is on her way back toward a return for the Indiana Fever. That's because she was seen participating in shoot-around before the Minnesota Lynx game. Now, that doesn't mean she's playing. She's still out for that game, and she hasn't returned to full practice yet, but she is back on the court with her teammates. This coming on the heels of Stephanie White saying she hopes that Clark would return to the lineup before the regular season is out, and that when you see her participating in practice, you will know she's on the way back.
When Clark comes back, will even her brilliance be enough to overcome stacked odds and tilted officiating? Indiana's resilience deserves credit, but resilience doesn't show up in the standings without help. One thing's certain, if this team does claw its way into the postseason, their fight won't just be remembered. It'll be celebrated as one of the grittiest playoff pushes in WNBA history. How does this keep happening? Let us know down in the comments below why you think the referees are blind against the Fever. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.